Hello guys, I'm Data and welcome to my channel. Today I thought it was necessary to show you how to properly equip the Stone Rhino. I thought it was more or less obvious how to do that, but I've been recently going through a lot of YouTube channels that were giving advice on how to build them, and I realized that most of those channels, if not all of them, it is more accurate to say all of them, give wrong advice on how to build it. They claim to say that they are min-maxing it in the most optimal way, but they are not. Most of those builds are a nonsense. So I'll go through them one by one, starting from the Stone Rhino 1. The Stone Rhino 1 has quirks on Klangos, ballistic velocity, and heat. So it would seem that this is the most optimal build. In fact, it's not. Like, this is for sure very strong, extremely strong because of the mounts. One mistake that most people do is saying, okay, it's projectile-based weapons, so I'll put a PPC. No, you don't put a PPC because they get ghost heat with the gauzes, so you just don't do that. You use a laser because while the laser shoots, then you charge the other two ghost rifles. It's a forced standard engine. I have this many ammo because I'm trying to go for a high score, but of course you can get rid of 2 or 3 packs and increase the armor on the legs and on the arms. As for the skills, you don't need heat gen at all, just full cooldown, full range, laser duration for just one laser. Nah, not really. I prefer to use the ghost charge because I want to aim more carefully. You can get along without it. Reinforced casing, yes, because we have ghost, survival. Improved gyros, yes, because we need to aim at range. Radar deprivation, zoom, double strike, and double cool shot. It basically plays like this. It's pretty high on DPS, pretty cold. But this is not the best setup you can do on this mech. Why? Because the meta these days is not about having long range. Long range most likely doesn't matter because the maps, most of the maps are built in a way that long range doesn't matter. So once you have 500, 600 meters maximum, there is no point having more range crippling your speed and your DPS. That's the whole point. These days, long range is irrelevant. So the way you build this mech at best is like this. So once you're set up like this, you're faster, like a lot faster, a lot faster. This means you'll get in position early on, a lot earlier, and you'll farm more because you are getting in the position where you need to be faster. The DPS is more or less the same, maybe even more, and the velocity on the ballistics makes these ones sync with a PPC instead in terms of projectile velocity, because it's a ballistic velocity quirk, projectile speed. The skills are more or less the same. You don't need heat gen on this mech, but you need cooldown. Of course, you won't need the ghost charge nodes. But as for the rest, is that's more or less the same. I'd say that on the one, this is the good setup, not the other one. So for now, I'm going to keep it like this. Of course, I don't need these nodes. I don't need anything here. I may use some torso speed. It's actually a good quirk to have on mid-range mechs. Because again, what's key is running around fast. You can have a jump jet. If you're playing comp, yes, the jump jet helps. Otherwise, it doesn't really help. Better having more ammo to farm more damage in case your team gets rolled. That's the concept. For the 100 tonners, the jump jet is good in comp to give you that slight edge, but in quick play, a jump jet on a 100 tonner, it's just 2 tons completely wasted. Of course, you could go for some other things. Like this is meant because it's meant to be used this way. When you see a mech moving sideways pretty fast, it's easy to do boom all at once, all together. Peek, boom. They have the same velocity. Alternatives. Are there alternatives? Yes, there are. There are alternatives for better overall sustained damage without overheating, which of course is about using LPL instead of a PPC. It's though more difficult to use because they don't sync properly. You might even try to go down engine a bit, like this, and equip 2. But then you start needing the heat gen because you're using 2 lasers and the cool run. Can we get it? Maybe cutting a bit of stuff here and there, and then it comes to the point where you have to cut the range. But again, you don't really need the range in this game, so whatever. But this way you need to aim in a separate way, and you'll get the maximum output only on targets that are slow enough. Of course you can shoot the AC-10s forever. Next one. Before we move to the next one, actually, a thing that needs to be cleared out. Why I'm not using 6 meds here and 4 AC-10s? It's pretty simple. This is not a light mech, this is not a heavy mech, it's not a medium mech, it's not an executioner. It's a wide bus. While on a small mech like a Phoenix Hawk, having this kind of setup doesn't matter. Having things in the arms doesn't matter because you have a mask, you have jump jets, you're fast. So the weapon disposition on the mech matters less. The higher is your agility. The higher your agility, the less the weapon mounts count. On a mech that is big, slow and with low agility, the weapon disposition on a mech counts a lot more. So if you start equipping things all over the place, it's harder for you to peak. It means more exposure time. It means you take more damage every time you shoot. So you survive less, and you end up doing less at the end of the game. So the way I'm building it right like this, it's because it's a high peak or at sometimes a right side peak. So I have to expose only this part of the mech and shield with the other part. I don't have to fully expose everything and at times even shoot in the back of my teammates by using this. Of course, if I went this way, I could afford again a higher engine. And maybe an extra heatsink if I get rid of half a ton of ammo. Or I could stay like this and still nothing changes. Like I'm just making the mech a lot wider. It's too wide for the agility it has. It just doesn't work. That's why my suggestion stays for the right-sided build on all the ones that are meant to trade. The next one is the 2. That's the setup for the 2. Again, most people will end up going 6 meds and 2 LPLs and 2 ghost rifles. The reasoning here is the same. It's big, it's huge, low agility. You can't afford a full peak with the entire mech. Range has a different value depending on the tonnage and on the speed. The slower the mech, the more range has value for your mech till a certain threshold. That threshold is around 600 meters. So having 500 to 600 meters range on a slow mech is very important. While having that range on a 30, 40, 50 tonner is not as important because the mech is faster, smaller, so it is easier for that mech to get in position properly. So putting meds, medium lasers, on a slow mech hurts its damage output a lot. Doing so on a smaller mech, like an Hunchback for example, doesn't, because the mech is smaller and faster. So this is what you have to consider when building up a slow mech like this one. Another build, it needs the macro of course, it's just doing 2 ER larges here and 3 ER larges in the arm. It's like a Direwolf with a 350 engine. Next one, the 3. The 3 is of course an LRM boat, like this. It's the best way to build it. ATMs are no use because ATMs on this, they need a fast mech with jump jets. This mech is not fast, so you just don't run ATMs on this one at all. It's a nonsense quirk. This compares more or less to this Direwolf. I think though that this one is better because of the velocity quirk that helps LRMs negating completely the effect of the AMS. It's still a very good LRM boat, like extremely good LRM boat. Next one is the 4. Most people do this with 4 LB20s. I think 4 LB10s and 4 Strom 6s is a lot better because you don't have to run a standard engine. You're faster. and the DPS is even more, the Alpha Strike is even more. Usual brawler build, the peculiarity is that you don't have to run radar deprivation because you just don't peak. You need radar deprivation on mechs that need to peak to perform. With this one, if you are starting to peak, you get hit by peaking mechs. This is not a mech that's meant to put your head up and take damage. With this one, you need to know where to go without constantly putting your head up, which is a mistake that like 99% of the players do when playing brawler builds. They're like, okay, let me peek. Oh, I'm peeking. Boom! Double gauss in the face. Cover, wait 3 seconds. Oh, maybe. Now I can peek again. Peek again. Boom! Another double gauss in the face. Hide, wait 3 seconds. Oh, maybe now I'm going to peek again. Like, what, dude, you have short time memory issues? Or what? Just don't peek. Move somewhere else. You don't need radar deprivation here because you don't peek at all with a brawling build. You just move and ambush people. Hide and ambush people. That's it. Next one is the 6. The one with the shields. It's the laser vomit one. I prefer to run it this way with the 42 standard heatsinks, common laser vomit setup. Of course, you can put a faster engine, a 350, even more, 375, and go double heatsinks. You would get a better overall dissipation. Yes, you would get an overall better dissipation, but you wouldn't be able to do such a huge continuous damage per peak without overheating. Look at this.
Target acquired. Target destroyed. Heat level critical.
So I did something like 160 more damage in a peak.
Heat level critical.
The alternative is to have an XL and double heatsinks. Most likely like this. So this one has better, similar or heat dissipation. Let's see. Let's actually check it. Export. Let's see. 7.7 sustained with the doubles. $7.9. We even have more sustained with this one. And more heat capacity. Means that the heat bar is higher. It's just that it's slower. Maybe I would have more sustained with the other one. I would have more sustained with the other one if I went for LPLs. Because LPLs have better damage per heat. But I wouldn't be able to alpha strike that much as I can with this one. The next one is the 7. Very interesting laser quirks. To me, this is the strongest setup with the 350. Why I don't spread them all over the place like many potatoes on YouTube have done? Same reason. You can't afford peaking with the entire mech.
Target. Target destroyed. Heat level critical.
It's meant to be used this way. You peek. Minimal exposure.
Heat level critical. Heat level critical.
And then at last there is the hero. Mask, double LB20, 6 SRAM 6s. You could run an XL on this, but the point is that you don't need it. On mechs where you need an XL to be fast or an LFE to be fast, then go for it. But this mech can be fast without. So the gain that you get from an XL does not offset enough the cons, which are get the heat spike during a brawl when you lose a torso and shut down in the middle of a fight. If you have to do that, otherwise you're just too slow, then you have to do it, because you can't be too slow. But this mech doesn't have to do it, because it's fast, even without itself. 70 kph on mask, it's more than enough.
Target acquired.
What the fuck did you just see? You saw that the mask equipped on 100 tonners doesn't have an actual randomness in shooting while using it. So the screen shake is just a visual effect on this type of mask. So you can mask and keep shooting, the shots will go exactly in the middle. I think this is a bug and needs to get fixed, but anyways, say I can just use this and instead they still go all in the middle. That's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this type of content. If so, remember to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, share the content with your friends, and I'll catch you guys next time.